I was running around like a chicken with a head cut off. That's okay. I mean, I couldn't find any cords. I am working with hey Lucy. Working with one wing here. So it's been great. It's been a week of just disasters happening. So, you know,
And I think
it's
I'm gonna headbutt the system here. I got to log into a different computer to see if I can get this theme up and running. So I got to come out of this one
oh
and
my
see if this one
goodness.
over here will work.
He's gonna headbutt the system. Everybody watch out, put your headgear on, everybody.
See if I can get this to do what I
Um
need.
I've got like 18 things going at the same time.
Right?
How we gonna make it work. We gonna make it work. Lucas doesn't start until 10:40. Okay, or 7:40. Okay.
Ooh.
Uh, I got people instant messaging me. I got, oh my goodness, it's nutty. So, first order of business, we've got
Oh yeah, how's the
this
elbow
on.
doing?
Well, it's still broke.
It's still broke. Huh.
It's still broke. You know, we're just winging it. Look at that. We're just winging it. Yeah. So, oh, he disappeared. So Jim will be back shortly. He had to switch computers real quick. So yeah, dispel the comments that I've been getting from people that have seen me on the YouTube page and on several social medias with this thing on. I broke part of my elbow. I slipped onto black ice, and the elbow took the brunt of it. So this is a week out now, and we've probably got about 7 weeks to go, and it's a tough one. Good thing I'm right here, which is a good thing. And when Jim gets back on, here he comes. He's showing up. We're going to be talking about one of the topics that I think need to be discussed. We've heard a lot of this going on recently. Oh, hey, look, you're back. Howdy. He's back. So, I was just filling everybody in that we're going to be talking about a topic tonight that I think you hear a lot about, but nobody knows anything about. I will explain the mass Facebook post that I made when we get closer to the end of the show. Okay, so I'm sure you got my text today, correct?
Yes.
Okay, well we're not doing any of that. So I'll fill you in. I know you've had a long day today at work and just would rather just fall asleep at this point. So I came to you with the question of talking about shadow work.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we hear a lot of people say, well, have you done shadow work? Are you doing your shadow work? Do you even know what shadow work is? Or you have to do shadow work and nobody knows what the hell shadow work is. I'm sure that deep in the recesses of the Googles that she was doing for this show, since we had some extra time, you know what shadow works is. So why don't you tell everybody what shadow work is?
So from what I've learned about shadow work, it actually took me down 3 different paths. I went to shadow workers, which led me to light work and meditation. And so while
Mhm.
they're all kind of deal with the type of meditation, there's a different meditation they each deal
Mhm.
with. So shadow work
Mhm.
is looking into yourself and
Mhm.
going after what you are suppressing or denying in your feelings. An example would be when you were growing up, you're always told not to talk back to people or get smart with people. And you
Mhm.
could suppress that. And maybe that's why you're not as outgoing or as alert as you are talking to somebody. So
Right.
what you're doing is shadow work, what I found is
Mhm.
you go into a meditative state,
Right.
but you're not looking to get like when we talked about the Gateway Project last time. The
Okay.
You were getting in touch with your body and harmonizing your body. You're doing that hem
Mhm.
sync um, and try and get everything
Right.
all lined up and get in touch and get in the feel. Now we've all talked
Mhm.
about with Reiki and
Mhm.
chakras and how you can get into your chakras and get them aligned. You can use crystals to help you with that, but shadow work
Right.
is the the darker side. You're confronting things that you suppress, but you have to go into a meditative
Mhm.
state to say, okay, what do I have to deal with to make myself better? And it's a design that's to improve yourself, make you healthier, make you more aware. It's kind of like I looked at it as
Mhm.
almost kind of like a rebirth. You have all the good stuff going on already, but you've got things for whatever reason they may
Right.
be you've suppressed. And a lot of shadow work,
Right.
they say you don't want to do shadow work by yourself. You want to, it's more of it's almost like along the lines of counseling, where you're sitting there on the
Right.
couch and the counselor's like, okay, so what's bothering you this week? Well, you get, you
Right.
bring your bag full of things that are bothering you this week and you dip into it, but you're actually trying to fix them and get
Mhm.
in touch with them again to give yourself more of a rebirth. Whereas like a light workers, they're already out there and they're popular and they're feeling good and they're just trying to bring more uh, what's the word I'm looking for, uh, happiness or something like that to you. And that's a real light, cheap answer, but and then which takes you to the meditation, which you need for both. But meditation can also be good just for simply calming your nerves and settling yourself.
Mhm.
But when you get into shadow,
Right.
kind of like the dark side of you, you have like it's truly what I look at. What I don't know what you think of this comparison is truly the white wolf and
And
the
Jimmy,
black
you
wolf.
got stuff. Right.
You there? Oh, there you are.
Right.
You went froze. So
Yeah, I'm
like I
here.
said,
I'm here.
it's,
I Our internet keeps going in and out only because I think the storms are coming.
yeah, yeah, our storms are coming. Boop, boy, you're like Casper there. You just
The
disappeared.
the storms are coming. So,
But yeah, like I
uh
said, though, I see shadow work as
I'm sorry.
truly
I didn't mean to just totally disappear. It's the weather.
shadow work is truly like the black wolf. And we've all said if you ever sit and listen to anybody when they're trying to take care of themselves, they're doing meditation, they're doing healing, they're doing the Gateway Project. If you experiment, if you want to get into that, if you're going through Reiki sessions or doing
Right.
sound bowls, you're going after that, the wolf.
Right.
Which one are you feeding, the white or the black wolf? And the shadow work is the black wolf because you got to control and bring that black wolf out and have him become you again. It's almost like a rebirth. It makes you feel good again. So that's kind of like
Right.
the.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good. I was just checking over here, make sure, see if there's any. But yeah, that's how I saw it. I know Carl Jung. They kind of say is
Mhm.
the forefront, the father of, if you want, of shadow work.
Mhm.
I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he's getting more credit than he's supposed to, or whatever. But um, yeah, that's yeah. And I got our live is on my one laptop where all my notes are. So if I go over there, I just
Holy
the
cow.
screen will freeze up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wow,
Uh,
we were all ready for today, were we not? After we've had like a 2-week hiatus or whatever's. Um,
oh,
y- you're 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 right as far as like the shadow work. I don't want to give everything to I think he was a very great, brilliant man
mhm.
who who was kind of like one of the forefathers of the psyche, and came up with a lot of good things, a lot of good papers and whatnot. When you talk about shadow work in the witchy world, it's basically, and forgive me for my language tonight because I've just had it with everybody and everything. Shadow shadow work is owning your crap,
Right.
owning your crap. You need to do both sides. This is about purification, okay? Shadow work has a lot to do, and Kathy, I know you're out there, and you are in the chat, and you can chime in whenever you want. Shadow work is dealing with your ish, the ish that you created and gave to other people, and your wrongdoings and things that you did that were obnoxious and out of character. Hey, Beth, and out of character. It's also being able to deal with the ish that people gave you. I mean, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and sitting with yourself for a minute and, absolving other people for the ish that they dealt you, which is the not so nice parts. And you kind of clearing the slate with your bad side. Everything that you've done that was wrong, everything you did against somebody else that was wrong, and understanding that that is just a layer of yourself.
Right.
Just saying. And cleansing yourself spiritually of all that nonsense and moving forward as a person. Understanding the good, the bad, and the ugly about yourself. And take, for example, sometimes I can be petty. I'm going to be honest. There are some times where I can be very petty towards other people, petty with myself, petty with family members. It's the omission or admittance of being petty. I'm telling you right now, everybody out here, that yeah, I have been known to be petty sometimes. And it's only in human nature for people to, not be so nice or so good all the time and do things that really hurt other people. But owning up to your ish, owning up to it, that's part of the shadow work. And without shadow work, you cannot continue to grow as a person. And that's basically what shadow work is. So when somebody asks you, when I go to a client that that I'm reading for, as far as cards, and say, listen, you need to do a lot of shadow work, and that's sitting with yourself, your dark side, in your dark space, forgiving other people for being mean to you or doing what they did to you as a grievance, but also owning up to the shite that you did in retaliation, and understanding that I am only human and some things will happen like that. It is only then when you admit to yourself and you absolve everything from that can you move forward as a spiritual person, or grow as a spiritual person. I wanted to make it through this show, but I'm exhausted. Can you keep me posted on the end of the show? Okay, Beth, no problem. Great Spirit knows I've had my black wolf out these past weeks and I'm tired, but that's why I always say it's very important to have both the black and the white wolf balanced out in your life, because if you don't, the bullies of the world will destroy you. Absolutely. Absolutely, Tim. or absolutely PT2. You're 100% correct with that. I mean, I don't think, unless you've absolved that or removed that, um, can you grow as a spiritual person? I don't know what your thoughts are on that, bro.
So my thoughts are, and I don't think this can happen. My thoughts are, you have to have two white wolves in you if you want to grow spiritually, or
Right.
that black wolf's got to go gray, maybe not be fully white, because, like you just said, if I look to all the positives, the good stuff, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to
Mhm.
keep this back here. I'm not going to worry. I'm not bringing this out. I'm keeping this little secret or this problem or whatever down. You're not going to grow
Mhm.
spiritually, because you're practicing at least half of yourself, or maybe a third of yourself is practicing suppressing. And suppressing things isn't a good thing mentally or
Right.
physically. And if you don't take care of if you don't do the shadow work,
Right.
which is easy for us to sit here and say, because shadow work, I would assume, could be scary as hell. I mean, when you start looking at your inside at
Oh
yourself,
yeah.
are you going to sit here and say, well, you know what? I am a really bad person. I'm not good at doing things when I should. I'm not for others. Or I'm not kind or something like that. You really have to turn on yourself to assess what's going on, and then to try and fix it per se. And that's where the work comes in, where you're acknowledging it,
Mhm.
giving it, saying, okay, all right, this is it. This is where I'm at. I know I have these qualities over here that I have to get hold of, or at least understand where they came from, because I believe they can be passed down. I believe that stuff that needs the shadow work can be um, um, done from birth, not from birth, but when the child starts to understand. And I'll say
Mhm.
one that I think, and it's affecting today people, is transgender. I like to
Yeah.
believe you be who you want to be, boo. But all I ask is that you're nice
Mhm.
to me and my family, or me and my friends, or whoever you're around at that point. But transgender,
Mhm.
think about it. Here, people are now coming out, which I applaud, that are coming
Mhm.
out and saying, this is who I am. And for these last 10, 18, 20 years, I've pushed this thing way down inside of me and won't let it come out and let it breathe. I'm suppressing
Mhm.
it. And you keep that down, we can see, um, people who just all of a sudden go into a closet and don't come out into society anymore because they're afraid to say, well, look at Jim. He's proud of himself. He can do this, or he's got that.
Mhm.
But all of a sudden, what I treasure, I have to go hide in the closet. I have to say, nope, I can't expose that to anybody, because then,
Eh,
so you have to really attack it, and it's where that's where your inner strength
Mhm.
comes. I think that's where people
Yeah.
are really. I think that's one thing that's really kind of missing, that I saw when I was looking up shadow work, is it takes a really strong person. It takes a really strong self to
Right.
get that out. And
Mhm.
I don't think we understand what people are going through sometimes. Like I said, and I believe I'm proud of transgender. I'm happy people are
Mhm.
being who they want to be. I will acknowledge you to, how you want to be acknowledged. But I think
Right.
one of the biggest ones that have the hardest time right now, and I think they're the ones that really suffer, because they don't go anywhere. They don't. There's no acceptance. And then
Right.
are we, you know, just say myself. I'll just use myself. I don't want to categorize it, but am I going to be strong enough
Right.
on the outside to say to that transgender person, hey, go
Right.
boo, do you? I'm proud of you. Whatever you need,
Mhm.
I'll support you. What good do I get out of it, except nipping at myself, making my black wolf stronger by going on the face of, yeah, hey, yeah, good for you, and then all of a sudden, do you believe what's going on over here? You can't do that.
Yeah, being two-faced about the whole situation is what I don't like. You know what? There are people who can sit at opposite ends of that table, right? Or on opposite sides of that table, and still remain friends. They can have a healthy debate or a healthy conversation, in order to, you know, we agree to disagree. Let's just put it that
Right.
way. And still, you know, go out bowling or go to dinner
Mhm.
and be fine with that. I want to preface what Kathy Klimzak said. Um Kathy is a very dear friend of mine who I love to bits. And she made the comment that it's a fine line between the white and the dark shadow work, or the white and the dark. There is a very fine line. There is some gray in between
Mhm.
that white and black.
Mhm.
We've all learned that life itself is not just white and black. There are multifaceted shades of gray, all different. And sometimes you mince hairs, but I think she worded it perfectly when she said shadow work is cleansing that heavy energy from yourself. It is like you made that comment about take for example the transgender community, you or the LGBTQIA plus community, whatever
Right.
community you want to talk about, that has had to hide for so long who they really are. When we talk about shadow work, we talk about regurgitating everything and putting yourself out there vulnerable and saying, "This is who I am." You
Mhm.
can choose to accept me, you can choose to deny me, but what you're not going to do is consider me invalid. I can no longer hide who I really am. I've known multiple people, and I know we're you know mulling over the LGBTQIA plus community. I've had multiple friends who have wound up on the wrong end of addiction
Mhm.
for multiple years because they had to hide who they truly were around family, around friends, around a lot of people, their entire life, and they just felt like they couldn't be honest with themselves. And that led to an addiction of like hiding my feelings or drinking my feelings and hoping that stuff goes away. Um, you can mix match that to any issue. All right. Being your true and authentic self uh will make you feel so free and just come out and say, "This is me." You're either going to love me or you're not, and right now, unless you are feeding me or financing me, your opinion doesn't count. Are you paying my bills? Then your opinion doesn't count. I am going to live my true authentic self. That has a lot to do with doing shadow work, being um at points unapologetic about yourself and your energy or who you were truly meant to be. um and understanding that you are only human. You're gonna screw up, you're gonna make mistakes. um a- and and coming out and being honest with those things, that's what I take away from that. You know what I mean? Hey Desiree, hey Lisa, hey Jay. Jay White as says, I've got my Facebook page open and on mute. I'm just going by the comments. And it's like cleansing. Yes, it's like cleansing.
Yeah.
It's cleansing yourself. We're all energy, and at the end of the day, when you want to talk about energy and being masculine or feminine, it's neither of that. It's all energy. It's all connected. There's no label of male and female when you talk about energy.
Right.
Um, that it's energy. It is what it is. It is neither male nor female. But you should, at certain points in your life, And even once a month. I mean, I do it once a month. I'll sit in a space and say, listen, I'm not taking any phone calls today. I'm not taking any phone calls today. I'm not dealing with nobody because I need to do shadow work. That's a time that I sit in sacred space with myself and I bring up the dirt about myself, even if it's writing a strongly worded letter to myself about all the things I don't like about myself and what I did, you know,
Mhm.
and coming clean and being honest. And you can do a burning with that. You can take it like we talk about doing burnings all the time, bro. I mean, take it, throw it in a fire pit, and letting it go, releasing yourself from that which does not serve you.
Right.
It is shadow work as well. Um,
I mean, journaling will
we
help there
all,
too. You
yeah,
can journal.
do
But
it.
like, I'm going to back you up a second. I think you said it's like what I learned. I see it as not so much as a cleansing, but a correction of things to yourself. Now, maybe that's
Mm,
splitting a hair between a cleansing and
mm.
correcting is also the wrong word. Is getting
Yeah,
yourself back up the par where you're bringing yourself back out again. It's not. I don't see that so much as a cleansing because think about this: what if the person accepts another person, age, hair color, eye color, height,
mhm,
weight, whatever,
right,
and you're accepting somebody based on how they look to you? I think we also keep that in. That's also part of shadow work that needs to be done.
mhm,
Is you're that person is going to be because the normal person is going to be worried what his friends think when he's hanging out with
right,
somebody who's flamboyant, who's 6 foot tall, or 300 pounds, or
uh-huh,
whatever it may be. So it goes on. Not only are they suppressing things, but I think it's also the mindset of you are now worried about accepting someone, something, or some event, and worried about what other people are
right,
thinking. So I
right,
guess like you said, I guess I'm really splitting hairs when I say I don't see it as a cleansing, but more as a healing. And maybe
mhm,
they're close enough to be synonymous. That's
yes, mhm,
so that's my look on that when the
right,
two were compared.
uh-huh, and I think they can be synonymous. When you're talking about cleansing yourself and healing yourself, uh, they're they're synonymous. Um, Beth put out a good thing stating that it's true if you don't deal with your shadows, they manifest in your life, and you feel it mentally, emotionally, and physically. PT2 said kind of what happened this afternoon, had to go to a higher up and take some mighties down. You have to stand up for who you are and what you believe in, no matter what circumstances. I can say this, I know who stands with me in the heat of the battle. And that's true. Um, it's about being unapologetic, um, about who you were meant to be and not hiding who you truly were meant to be as a spiritual being, as as a good human being, to be totally honest. Um Lisa said people Lisa Lisa Leland says people can make deep connections that others may not understand, and
Mhm.
that's okay. Just enlightens them, and they are open and they're more open to it. Um, Jay says, unfortunately, my spiritual friends have to go. But I'll watch this. Thank you, Jennifer, for Papa Hun. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, I, I mean, everybody should be doing shadow work. Um, it is sitting and wallowing in your true self. It is sitting and being with every uh every bad thing that has happened to you and all your bad thoughts, your emotional thoughts, all your bad emotions that you've experienced. And I think it's also, now I want your opinion on this, bro.
Okay.
Would you consider it um forgiveness to yourself
So you locked up. Say what's that?
in a way?
Hang
No,
on.
I'm sorry. Um we're having internet issues because we're supposed to be getting bad storms tomorrow. So, and they're moving fast. So you may see us lock up or freeze up. Um I want to use my an opinion I have. Of course, I'm always opinionated, gonna be opinionated either way. You've known me for 10
Huh.
years to be
Yeah,
opinionated.
I got you.
Um, it it's giving yourself forgiveness. I mean, so would consider shadow work, um, moments of forgiveness for yourself.
So you're locking in. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but you're frozen on my end.
I
You're
ain't gonna
asking
lock the heck up.
if you mean, are you asking is shadow work a type of self forgiveness?
Me opinionated. Yes, that was my question. Was do you think that you could say that shadow work is a type of uh, forgiveness for yourself or moments of grace, giving yourself grace?
Yes, but the one thing that has to be added into it is your honesty with yourself when you start the work. You can go there and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm doing shadow work, and hey, I'm now accepting, you know, Mazdas to park in my driveway and Hondas to park on my front lawn." You can say whatever you want, but if you're only being,
Mhm.
you're the kind of the man behind the curtain per se, and that's what you're letting out, but you're really not addressing the
Mhm.
issue, whatever it may be. No, because
Mhm.
until you can, and it's a brave thing to do, to sit there
Mhm.
and you're basically turning the mirror in on you and going, all right, like Sam Smiley used to say from Saturday Night Live, you're good looking, people like you, and doggone it, you're cute. So
Mhm.
it's a thing that, yes, you can get the forgiveness. It can be a self forgiveness, I think, but it's
Mhm.
really going to depend on the work that the person puts in and how much honesty you're going to be about yourself. Because I like to think I'm an open book. I like to think, anybody can
Uh-huh.
read me, and if I did something to offend somebody, they'll say, "Hey, what'd you do that for?" And I'll tell on myself. That was the biggest joke at work. People would say, just ask Jimmy. He's going to tell on himself. That doesn't mean I probably don't have shadow work to do,
He's
but
gonna tell on himself at some point.
maybe there's
Yeah.
maybe I and it's so
Eh,
yeah. I think it can be a type of forgiveness, but you have to be so damn honest with yourself. And I think a lot of people have that hard time because we don't want to go around thinking
yeah.
I've been a bully or I've been this or I've been like that or I don't do, fill in the
Right.
blanks. Because I don't want to say, I don't want to harp on like one thing and stay with it, say keep repeating it because that's the thing or anything. It's a whole gamut of everything because it's very easy to look at the white wolf and say, well, gosh darn it, I'm good. And all the good stuff comes out. But when you got to look at that dark wolf and try and fix it and be honest with you,
Mhm.
so he's being honest back, yes. But once you come to that point, then you can have self. Yes, yeah. But like I said, I'm repeating. But yeah, you have. I mean, the honesty hurts. I mean, think how many times you've been honest about something. You've come like you did something at work, or you did something to a friend, or whatever, and all of a sudden you got to come to terms like oh, like this could be a form of shadow. I gotta go tell my boss what I did to the car, or I gotta tell them
Mhm.
I didn't do this in a timely fashion, or whatever the work may be for. But yeah, I think it's that type of honesty where
Right.
you're going to take a zinger, and let's face it, you're not going to fix yourself unless you
I
take a zinger.
That's it. That's look at me going nuts. I'm going, "Yeah." That's it. And that's it. It is that emotional, verbal diet that you need to expel, right? Accepting the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent about yourself, but also being willing to accept when Mama Karma comes around with that bus, beep beep, beep beep, baby. She's gonna come up and putting yourself out there and saying, "I deserve that."
Yeah.
Because I was an evil biatch. Okay, let's just put it that way, and I deserve
Hmm.
e- everything that I. Here we go again. Oh, we're back again. We're gonna be flip flopping all night long. But
There you are.
that ass whooping that you're gonna get from karma.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That is the true essence of shadow work.
Right.
And putting it to bed at the end of the day as well, saying, you know what, that happened. I did it. I took my lump. Or we've seen it in movies where people have that, they confront the person that they hurt, and that person that they hurt lashes out at them and tells them everything that they did and how it hurt them, and just this verbal litany of whatevers comes at them. One sentence is your shadow work. Letting them do that and then saying, you know what? After they finished, letting them speak, letting them get it all out, and then saying, you know what? I deserve that. I deserved every word and every nasty bit of comment that came out of your mouth. I am admitting it. I am apologizing for my behavior, and I want to move forward from this.
Right.
And if we can, mending that relationship by understanding why we can't, and being okay with that. That is the shadow work. The same here, Jimmy. You have to be honest. I'm gonna bring up some of the comments on Facebook because there are a lot of people watching us on Facebook. Um, Lisa Leland says, "You opinionate." Pff, that's blasphemy right there.
Oh
When I
Jesus.
said I'm opinionated, right on, Lisa. Right on, Broskina. Desiree asked if we could teach shadow work. I don't think there's. I don't. That's all shadow work. I don't think there's any way of teaching it other than just saying, being honest with yourself. Diarrhea, and then accepting what karma has to dish out to you and saying, you know what, I deserve that. That's like somebody robbing a liquor store. Okay, let's take it to the law enforcement side of things.
Take it to the
All right.
extreme.
That is like robbing a liquor store, right? And then waiting outside for the cops to show up and having your wrists out like this, like, okay, slap the bracelets on. I know. No, I'm going to jail. I need to accept that.
Hmm.
So that's to me a lot of that, a lot of shadow work too. That's just an example. That's like a primitive example, but you know, accepting that karma that comes
Hmm.
down the road. I have many questions, but I don't want to interrupt the conversation. Desiree, that is why we do these things, love. Ask away. Or
Right.
else it's just me taking up all this time talking and Jimmy just going, uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Smart ass.
So the person can sit and know what they without going so far left. I locked up, but you can still hear me. I'm being honest. Yeah. Smart ass. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's me. Um, I don't know. Maybe you can understand Desiree's question. Desiree, so the person can sit and know what they are doing without going so far left. I don't understand what that means, honey. Elaborate, my dear. Because
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by
that just
that.
made a lot of unnonsense. That just made a lot of unnonsense.
But I'll go back
I
to
can't.
that.
Yeah.
You had that one part there on her. I think it was Desiree's question. Can you teach or somebody teach you shadow work?
Yeah.
And because I see shadow work as a
Yeah.
meditation form too, is when you take your when you say, I'm going to say
Mhm.
every day at 3 o'clock is my meditation. And my meditation is just to
Mhm.
harmonize my body, get back in touch because I had a crappy day at work or something like that. I think you can do that if you go into your meditative
Right.
state, but you realize you're going into the darker side. You have to accept it. And like you said,
Mhm.
once you start,
Right.
babbling right there, just karma's coming. There's karma for everything.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go into the, so I think you can. It's more of a self-taught. It's just like that last 2 weeks ago when we did the Gateway Project, and I tried that for 1 hour of
Uh-huh.
meditating. That was more designed just to get everything aligned, get your hemisphere going, get the feelings in your body, so you can
Yep.
feel yourself. That wasn't cool. Not cool word. So you can
Mhm.
identify who you are, and then target and feel each part of your body and come through it, and you can make that whole again. Whereas with the shadow work, what I believe
Yeah.
is you can now go into that meditative state, but you have to know that you're going in to be
Yeah.
honest with yourself about things that are going to hurt, that you are going to, in a natural sense, the way you're going to go, no, not me. No, that's not me. I'm not like, people say I'm a bully. No, I'm not a bully. But when you go into a meditative state and you're going to go in there, maybe you find out, yeah, I'm a bully because you start understanding. You're letting. So I think it's also an
Yeah.
awakening of your subconscious, because I think your subconscious holds so much
Mhm.
stuff away from us that you really need to have that meditation where you can get into it and
Uh-huh.
see what's going on and wake it up. But again, it can be a cleansing. I think you can learn it. Um, through the meditation that you've already done on yourself.
Uh-huh.
And who's to say you can't take 10 minutes
Mhm.
of your own meditative state on, say, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? It's going to be me and karma. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to try and figure out
Right.
who I am, what I am. Because let's remember now, one of the things that we're forgetting here, we're sounding really negative the whole way
Mhm.
through here on shadow work. It's like, we're trying to tell ourselves we're a
Mhm.
bad person, we're going to fix that bad person. Well, think about the things that come out of it afterwards. If you go in there and you do that shadow work
Yeah.
and you say, okay, I'm addressing
Mhm.
my coming out. One of the things you're going to come out with, and there's a list of things here, like you're going to, one thing I really like, it says you're going to gain more confidence and self-esteem. So right off the bat, you are going to make yourself a better
Yeah.
person. The
Right.
trick of the whole thing with shadow work is not going for, say what I just said there, the confidence and self-esteem, but is maintaining it.
Right.
You can
Right.
go in there. You can go in there every day of the week at 5 o'clock, shadow work till 6 or 5:30, whatever it might be a time. Say, okay, I've addressed it, but you come right back out and you're doing it again. What have we accomplished? Absolutely squat.
Uh-huh.
But if we realize
Right.
what's sitting there waiting for us, confidence and self-esteem,
Mhm.
because that's what it really comes down to: is what kind of confidence and self-esteem do I have that I'm
Right.
imparting to somebody else like you? So if I'm not a positive person or
Mhm.
anything, or I have real self-esteem, I get around you, you're gonna be like, who's the negly over here that's not, won't let anybody be happy, and it's like, oh, you know,
Me. Me. I'm the
right?
one.
So
I'm the one.
yeah, so if you allow
Yeah.
that, to be one of your, let's say that's one of your goals. I want to be more confident and I want to have better self-esteem. That's a great thing. That's a great piece for shadow work. But you have to get in there and get it and do it. You can't just say, "Hey, I'd like to have it," and go in and dance around your
Right.
whatever for
Right.
15 minutes and say, "Oh, it's Monday. I'm good."
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is that when people say there is beauty in the breaking, there is. In order for the universe to cleanse you of a lot of things, and here's another good kind of like, I guess, synonym for shadow work is unpacking all your frigging baggage. Okay? Unpack all that goddamn baggage you got.
Right.
All right? Stop adding shite to the already overflowing suitcase you got in your psyche. Stop carrying shite around like that. When I call it unturtling. Unturtling yourself,
Okay.
right? Uh, uh um and that is the getting rid of that which does not serve you.
Hmm.
Number 1. Um and that's a perfect thing, is understanding that while we sit and talk about this negative, all this negative stuff that happens when we do shadow work, we would be remiss if we didn't say what Jimmy just said, which is there is so much beauty that comes out of that after. It's like having that ugly cry, right? And getting it all out, and lying on the floor and being snotty, and using a whole box of tissues, and having a headache. You have that, but when you think about it, you feel so much better.
Hmm.
You've released all of this pent up aggression and just bad feelings that you either did to somebody and regret and are too stupid to go apologize. Hello everybody that does that. Welcome to the party.
Right.
And for and releasing all of those negative feelings that uh that you were left with when people said shite about you or were mean towards you. It is a soul, this is going to sound really weird and you're going to laugh. Like a soul diarrhea. L- Like it was taking X-Lax for the soul. You took a whole box of X-Lax, your soul did, and it's like regurgitating everything.
Right.
And it's very close to what I would consider. I'm not saying it is. So everybody that's taking notes, don't say that she said this is exactly what it is, because it's not. It is similar to a spiritual awakening. It is extremely painful. It is going to hash up old things and old traumas. That is also spiritual. That is also shadow work. Digging
Hmm.
up all those traumas that you didn't deal with, that you just wanted to swallow and shove under the damn rug and
Right.
say, okay, I dealt with it.
Mhm.
Shoving it under the rug is only a band aid. This is why psychiatrists are making bazillion dollars, is because you didn't deal with your shite that you had to deal with when the trauma was this big, and confront that person and say, this is I don't know what this is going to do for you, but this is going to do a whole hell of a lot for me. You hurt me, and I don't appreciate it, and I don't like the way you made me feel. That was uncalled for, in my eyes, was uncalled for. And I'm not going to put up with it. Right?
Right.
And instead, you swept it under the rug, and years later, you are now this dissident person who has PTSD from something that could have been taken care of. Now, I am not in any way, shape, or PSA announcement. Let's all put that out there. I am not saying that every person that's got PTSD, it started out this big, because it didn't. Okay. For some things that started out this big, that now have grown to immense sizes now that you're an adult, because they didn't get dealt with when they should have gotten dealt with. I mean, that's like us growing up. We're Gen Xers. Gen Xers, you think we had therapy? We didn't have therapy. We got told to, get over it. Get over it. Grow up. Rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine. Walk it off. Walk it off.
Right.
That is why there is a lot of our populace today that are a little, in the head a little bit, because we were given those things. But we were raised by boomers who, don't ever talk about your feelings. Don't ever talk about your feelings to a boomer. They're going to look at you and be like, feelings? Well, yeah. What is that? Nobody has.
Put on your big boy pants and get it done.
Exactly. So a person can sit and know what they're doing without going so far as like, okay. Desiree said, at this point, I feel like I need a case of X-Lax.
Oh, Jesus.
Because I said it was like X-Lax for the soul. She's like, I need a whole case of X-Lax now.
You got the diarrhea going. She's got the X-Lax going. Good Lord, there's going to be nothing left to anybody. We're all going to be dehydrated.
Make me cough.
But I got it.
My elbows.
I can give you an example of sort of like a light shadow where you don't have to go into a meditative state, and it's something that I've been trying to take care of, is driving. We so want to lash out when somebody goes into our lane, doesn't use a turn signal, blows our doors off, or cuts in front of us when they cheat up a lane, or lanes are merging. Why don't you merge in where I made a safe spot for you and back behind me?
Right.
So I'm trying to get to a point now. The kids used to joke around. I used to go, when somebody would do something stupid in front of us, drive a car, and I go, "There's fat ass." So that was my nickname for people who pissed me off when I was driving. So I try to get away from now is recognize what you're doing.
Yeah.
Who cares if the car wants to get in front of you? It's not going to change your destination. It's not going to do anything to your timing. You still got some time to do whatever it is you got to do. Somebody got under your skin for no reason. And it's because you let it in, because you let it happen. And then the way you get rid of it is just like, it's almost like, you don't do this while you're driving. Like, I want to sit there and go, zoom,
With no hands on the steering wheel. We're just going to zoom the whole way.
Yeah, get it all away. But, so that could be a form of, like I said, it doesn't have to be like this down to 20,000 depths in the sea with, everybody. But it's just, there's something there that you need to correct or fix or say, hey, I need to get better with this. And the driving thing for me is I would be the first one to go, like that. When you over here, do this. And I'm just like, then I find myself, I get to work and I'm like, I'm all fired up. I'm like, let's go get something. And it's like, Jesus, would you stop? You're taking 20 years off your life just by. So I now, when somebody wants to get it, I tell Luce, I said, this guy's turn signal on. I just let him in. Come on in. Come on. You got up there better. You yelled at me. You said this about me. You said you're going to do this to me. I said, cool, dude. As I'm going, 90 miles an hour, I try to avoid getting cut off or the brakes being slammed. But like we said, though, it's just, and that's where you feel better. You build up your self-esteem. You feel like, even though they were, I didn't dip to there. I stayed even keel above board. But if you pulled over and we were going to talk, you talk. But it's just, So, like I said, it doesn't have to be, and that's, to me, that would be an example of you're taking care of things and you're getting your self-esteem back. You're getting, and you're improving yourself. And you can do that. You can do that while you're driving too. You don't have to journal.
Right. You don't have to journal. You don't have to journal. But journaling is a great thing. Okay. Jeff Brown in the house. So hey, Jeff Brown in the house. Jeff Brown. And Michelle Dylan Tallis is in the house. Hey, girlfriend. He's on my Facebook page on the Faces of the Books. You have to be honest. Yes, Jimmy. Look, your wife is like, yes, Jimmy. How many times when you were driving us to cases and I'm in the back seat with Yvonne and I'm just looking, watching cars go in, and I'm like, oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Bro's driving and he's just looking at me steely-eyed in the rear view mirror. And I'm like, uh-oh. And then he's all fired up when we get to the front door of the client's house. Let's go get some ghosts. Let's go get some spirits.
Captures Casper in the Z2000. Here we go.
In the Z2000. He said, hey, Jim. Welcome, Michelle Dylan Tallis. Hey, girl, hey. She's on my Facebook page watching and listening. But I it is good for the soul. Shadow work is basically, unpacking all the baggage.
Right.
Emotional baggage, getting rid of it, accepting what comeuppance you're going to get for the way you acted, and raising your vibration as a spiritual person and standing your ground. Letting people know this is who you are. Now, if you're going to be, not a nice person, I'll refrain from using the foul language for once.
You've already filled the whole show with foul language. Why stop now?
If you're going to be a canoe, okay, don't be a canoe. All right, that doesn't excuse you from that, okay? Just saying. All right. That doesn't give you license to be the canoe, okay? Don't be that type of person. Just you know what? Live your life. Be happy. And you can't grow as a spiritual person unless you're doing that. Unless you're unpacking the baggage. There's no room for the spirit of the soul to grow if you keep stuffing the suitcase with more shit that you got going on.
Right.
You got to think of the soul as a suitcase. It's going to overflow at some point, and then somebody's going to be on the wrong end of that conversation.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, and when the karma bus comes around, look, a one-way ticket, beep beep. She's not leaving. Vroom vroom. That and that's just the front seat was the place to be, according to Jeff Brown on our investigations.
Oh yeah.
The front seat was listen, the boys would sit there and they would talk about sports. And then Yvonne and I would be in the back seat cackling away like two bitty hens. Just carrying on and laughing and seeing spirit in the back seat
And Jeff
Until
had one eye on the wheel and one eye in the back seat. Like, what the hell's going on back there? It's getting freaky. He goes, I know.
Oh, and then we would get closer to the facility or wherever we were supposed to go, and my comment would be buckle up, Buttercup, because this and the eyes would be right on me through the rear view mirror, and I'd be like, this ain't gonna be a good one. Wow. I
Right?
just my facial expressions, you
Old
know,
buggy, here
and
he
then
comes. It's the big
yep,
one.
and then Yvonne and I were hopped up on monsters and hemp drinks, and we'll be like,
Yes.
okay, let's go, you know, let's go catch us some demons and all that good stuff. Much safer. The front seat was much safer, according to Jeff Brown. Ah,
Yeah.
oh my goodness. So I know that we wanted to keep the shows to about an hour.
Okay.
I know. Do you have a goblet for tonight? I know we're not. We could probably go on all night about shadow work.
Yeah, and what I said, I got like 5 points here that I want everybody to kind of take away with shadow work, because we made it to be not a negative, but like a more of a scarier place without some kind of reward or what's happening. What you can get
Right.
out of doing shadow work. So I already said the first one, and that was you gain more confidence and self esteem. You improve your
Yeah.
creativity. You build better relationships with others. The biggest one here, and I
Right.
thought we could do a whole show probably on this one, is practice self acceptance. That to me that's a really big one.
Huzzah!
Yeah,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
you discover
Yes.
hidden talents, because we all have
Mhm.
something, like, in my opinion, we all have something like magnificent to offer each other. And if you can
Yeah.
get into that shadow work, acceptance of it, and then there you're going to you're going to have your self acceptance is going to go crazy, and your hidden talents. There's stuff here we all can do that we just don't know because we don't really go into it. So I just want everybody to
Right.
kind of understand, even though we were kind of like,
Mhm.
we weren't negative Nellies or anything like that, or we weren't identifying certain things to pick on to do shadow work, but it's just like when you say, well, got to make sure you're honest with yourself. Well, there's the 5 things you're going to get out of this. If you get two or
Mhm.
three out of it to begin with, and then achieve all 5, you're doing
Right.
good. So it's that. So that's really kind of like where I went with the goblet tonight.
Right. And I appreciate your goblet. Before we get through to the emails and all that good stuff, I know that I had sent you a text earlier,
You
and
did.
you didn't get it. Um, I
Oh, I got the
I
text.
I received a text this morning, um, stating, and I had prepared myself for this long drawn out speechy thing regarding Corner Cauldron and Witches Winging It. And I did not find out otherwise until right before the show. So you are the first to hear this as well, Jim. Um, there was a real threat today, and I received a text today that it wasn't so much a threat, but that we were ending both shows as of tonight. That Corner Cauldron and Witches Winging It with Jen was going to be over, um due to a lot of things. um I had actually brought extra tissues up here too to go and like cry, because I'm a crier. Everybody knows I'm a goddamn crier. I'm admit it, I'm a crier. It's just the Pisces in me. um and what I was told, that there was a lot of struggle with this decision, um especially with our producer. Uh, God love him. He puts it. Hey, Jen DeMayo. He Our producer puts so much effort into these shows. I mean, 10 years of Paranormal Talk 2. 6 of those years, I think 6 or 7 of those years, I had been on the show. 4 years of Corner Cauldron. And I had come on here tonight with every intention of Gemini saying goodbye. To everyone. However, that is not the case. Our producer and I had like a quick 5-second conversation about, and all that was said was, "We're keeping the shows." I'm like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he said, "Jimmy doesn't know yet. Well, I'll call you tomorrow. Can't say much now. We don't have a lot of time and because I had some technical issues coming on here, and I had definitely had prepared myself to in the next coming days to clean out the Corner Cauldron room and hang up the gone out of the out of business sign. But that has changed. That is the reason most of you received that Facebook post today. With the, I need everybody on the air that has been associated with us
How do you do, sir?
How you doing?
so that I can have the opportunity to say goodbye. Hey, sir. Hey, Kat.
Buffy,
But yeah.
Jimmy, let me tell you something. We've been doing these shows for a long time. We're a family on these shows. Everybody knows about the situation that I've been in and about these shows. Now, we've been shut down from time to time about our topics, but we've always sprung back.
Right.
For the past 2 months, a lot of people knows about this situation, but some of you don't know what has really gone on behind the scenes about what has really took place.
Yeah.
I was given the ultimatum of shutting the show down or losing my job. My job consists with the government. I'm not saying what part, okay? So it came as a threat to me. You don't threaten me. You don't threaten my family. These shows I put in place a long time ago. Most of you know why I put these shows in place. These are part of our lives. Not only my life, but your life. It's part of your life. These shows have helped a lot of people. Not only me, but you and our friends, our family, even the friends and the families that we're going to make. We're not through making these friends and families, right? So I had to take it a step further. When I sent Buffy that message this morning, the shows were going to end if I would have laid down and I would have called it quits. But see, that's where we have to have, as Jimmy puts it, sometimes you have to have that, the two white wolves. Me, my culture, I have to have the dark and the white.
Right.
Or the black and the white. As most of you know, my spirit guide is a black wolf. My wolf even has a name. we don't lay down. We're tired. We are tired. We've been fighting for a long time to keep these shows going. These shows are going to go. These shows are going to continue to go. And when I came out of an office this afternoon, I came out as not being defeated, but as victorious. So and I actually couldn't wait to get home. Unfortunately, I didn't get home in time to fill Buffy in until like 5 minutes before
Yeah.
we went on. And then Jimmy had some things that he had to do
Yeah.
with a system, that he works for as well. And we were not able to fill one another in about this good news that I
Yeah.
wanted to share. So it was very, very brief. And we're sharing this with you now. The shows will continue.
Yes.
We're going to continue on doing what we've been doing. We can talk about conspiracy theories. We can talk about anything that we want to talk about, as long as we don't name names, as long as we don't throw people under the bus.
Right.
And as far as I know, we will have to go back and listen. But I can
Right.
pretty well assure anyone out there that we have never done that.
Nope.
We've not mentioned any
No.
names whatsoever. We have not thrown anyone under the bus. Yes, we do talk about everything and anything under the sun.
Yes.
Not only the paranormal, but we do talk about other things. Cryptids, Bigfoot, whatever, conspiracy theories, government, whatever you want to talk about, we talk about, right?
Right.
So that's why these shows were made. Both of these shows were made for that. Buffy and Jimmy's show is a little bit different from what the show that I have. But that show was renamed. That show, as far as I'm concerned, belongs to Buffy and Jen. They renamed that show, and that show will stand as is. We will not go back and change that. Buffy and Jen will continue on with that show. Jimmy and Buffy will continue on with Corner Cauldron. And if I'm a mind to, I'll put a third show on, and we'll get a new host.
Yeah.
But I can tell you one damn thing right now. You don't threaten me. You don't threaten my family. You don't threaten my friends. Okay, because I do have enough backbone. I do have enough education. I do not have enough knowledge, and I've been in the government for a long time. That you don't push me. All right, and I know the lines. I know how far to take them.
Yeah.
And I know where to stop at. So we just want to put that out there. The shows will continue.
Nice.
I can
All
one
right.
hand clap.
If we had sound effects like we did on the other platform, yes, we could probably throw that on there. But we're used, we're used to doing things by the seat of our pants. And this is a new journey for us. This is a new platform. We're just learning the system. We've had hiccups. We've had some setbacks. A lot of the damn setbacks is, because of everything that has been going on. We just haven't had time to put ourselves in a position to where we can concentrate on this 100%. So, worrying about whether we're
getting a lot of woohooing from Joanne Forrester, Desiree Edwards, Dave Cummings. Everybody is blowing their little, I guess, little fanfare kind of things. And like I said, I was shocked when, like, 2 minutes before we went on air, Tim was like, "We can't talk about it now because we don't have time. But you know what? We're keeping the shows." And I had literally sat all day at my desk, contemplating at work what I was going to say to people, because
Buffy, you don't have to say anything now.
They're great. I mean,
absolutely.
to Tim Hopper for all the work that he does.
Absolutely. You can say that name. You can
I,
say that name.
I mean, it was so weird calling you PT2, and I was like, I just
Well,
wanted to say your name so bad.
You know, most people know me as PT2 because that was
Yeah.
the title that I went by when I
Right.
was with iHeart, and yes, we are
Right.
with iHeart as of now, even with this show, even with even with our
Wow.
other shows, we're with iHeart.
Um,
YouTube, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I know that you wanted to continue on with Corner Cauldron. I was 100% behind you on that. And I would have steered you in that direction. I would have backed you 100% with it.
And I appreciate that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was happy that you were going to do that. But you can still continue on doing another show if you want. I have no issues with that as well.
I'm happy. I'm content with the shows that we do,
Well,
and I just wish everybody could understand the amount of work behind the scenes that Tim has done for the 6 years that I've been on with Paranormal Talk 2, the 4 years that we've been on with Corner Cauldron, and just this is free time. Nobody's getting paid to do this. This is volunteer free time, trying to put out good content on both shows now, with Witches Winging It, and going. And my first thought was, damn, we had so much fun the first night of Witches Winging It with Jen. I mean, we got each other snorting, we were carrying on, laughing, and just to think that we were going to lose that.
Well, we're not losing it.
Yahoos.
We're not losing it. It's staying. Like I said, the show will continue on carrying that name. Right. If we want to rebirth Paranormal Talk 2, we can do that. We can mention that show as well. If we want to continue that, have co-host to do that. I am going to make an appearance from time to time, like I'm doing tonight with this commentary.
We want you to. We miss seeing you on the screen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can do that now. But I feel comfortable with you, Buffy and Jen, doing Witches Winging It. AKA used to be Paranormal Talk 2. I'm very comfortable with Jimmy and you doing Corner Cauldron. I have no issues with that. You do a fantastic job with both of the shows.
Yeah.
And that's another thing with these shows. We don't just throw out bull crap. We don't dramatize this stuff.
Yeah.
We do research on these topics.
Yes.
We do a lot of things with these shows. We don't give out false information.
No. Okay? Never have we given out false information.
If we don't know a topic, we will tell you that we don't know about a subject. Even though we've been doing this for a long time.
Absolutely.
And we are not going to send you down a road that's going to get you in trouble, give you false information.
Yeah.
We're not going to, like I said, throw anyone under the bus. Even with the other groups and stuff out there, we don't do that. No. And we may fabricate a name here and there. That's okay. But we're not going to mislead you or misguide you in any way whatsoever. We don't do that with these shows. We're 100% being honest when we fire these shows up and when we bring you this content.
Right.
We support our groups that we're affiliated with these shows. And, Jeff Brown and his group, the groups that you're affiliated with, Buffy, Jimmy, all of our other listeners that are out there, they're more than welcome to bring their groups on the air. Because we believe in those groups.
Right.
We know that they're not fly-by-night groups. We don't
Mhm.
just have anyone on the air.
Right.
We don't
Right.
just support anyone out there. We don't do that here, and we're not
No.
going to do that. We're not going to
No.
do that, and
No.
we haven't done it, and we're not going to do it.
No.
But as of 5 o'clock this afternoon, when I got home, the shows were a go. All right.
Yeah. I was ugly crying and texting you at the same time. It was like,
Well,
at my desk at work. Got me on my feels, man.
I was at my lowest when I went into the district office, and
Yeah.
and that's one of the hardest things that I have to do when I go down that corridor and knock on somebody's door,
Yeah.
But listen, when you've been in these battles, you've been in them a long time. You do everything and anything that you can to win them, right?
Yeah.
And
And you
that's
don't back
exactly what
down.
we do.
You
And
don't back down.
people know me, and they know that I don't back down. So
Yeah.
especially when it
Okay.
comes to this, and I
Yeah.
won't. These are, I don't call them my shows. I call them our shows,
Yeah.
and that's for our listeners out there. And I've always said that, it's not my show. Hell,
Yeah.
these damn shows wouldn't be nothing to me if it wasn't for you and the listeners out there,
Yeah. And the fact that we've built these shows around spirit, and we've allowed space for people who would have been blackballed, when we talked about,
Right.
communities that we talked about tonight, and having to hide, that this is a safe space for those communities. I mean, Tim,
Absolutely.
you and I, and Jimmy, and Jeff Brown, and Yvonne, and Bailey, and Dave Cummings, we've been in this business long enough to have experienced some shit that wow, is like, did I just see that? I and we've been on that opposite end of the stick where people wouldn't believe.
Mhm.
And we want to make this a safe space, and talk about those things, and bring it to the forefront, and understand that those people aren't crazy, that they've had issues, that they've had experiences that are valid, to make
Right.
people feel valid.
Yeah.
That's why we do these shows, and to bring truth and honesty. And there is a lot of research between Tim and I, and Jim and I, and Jen and I. We've gone for weeks doing research to bring you guys stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
texting back and forth behind the scenes. You don't see us on the weekends giving up our weekends, sitting in front of a computer screen, texting each other, going, "I got nothing, bro. What you got?"
Oh, I've been there.
Can't
Yeah.
find anything on this topic.
Well, that's why we say we just winging it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that was our motto for
Yeah.
Paranormal Talk too.
Yeah.
And
Jeff
we
Brown was
just
right.
wing
It
it.
is real. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Jeff
it's
Brown
also
is-
one of the fairest shows I've ever
Yes.
been a part of, because
Yes.
we don't sit there and go, yes, that group, that. No, we've said after every show. You said it at PT2 at every show. If you want to come on, you come on. Bring your
Absolutely.
topic. We don't shut you down. We don't.
No.
No.
We are probably the most inclusive group of people you could imagine, that will allow
Yeah.
anybody bring anything at any time to the table. We
There
don't.
you go.
it's-
That's right.
Absolutely.
It helps
Absolutely.
everybody. So, like bouncing off of Buffy, what you said, Tim, I'm grateful for all the work that you've done and will continue to do for us. And Buff, doing a show with you that allow anybody to come on. I mean, I know the four of us, me, you, Tim, and Jen could
Yeah.
do a forum in here where we could expand more, where we could allow more people. But I really like how open we make this show, both shows, to
Yeah.
anybody's topic. It's not like, nope, we only have to talk about this lane right here, and then we're not going any left or right.
Oh,
We
absolutely.
deviate, we hit pins, we hit corners, curves, everything. We jump off of cliffs, whatever it takes. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm grateful. And I just want to get that out there that
Yeah.
hey, look, we don't say no to anybody. Anybody can
Right.
come on here. I will talk any topic. I'll do my research beforehand. I'll talk any topic with anybody, and I'll give you your 60 minutes. I'll give
Yeah.
you 90 minutes, whatever it turns out to be.
Absolutely.
And
Right.
Tim makes that happen by sitting down there in his studio, making sure we got our connection, making sure we can see each other, making sure we can see our chats, making sure all that happens. So it's nice because he's like a little catch net. He doesn't let it fall through the net. Like you and I may miss. Like Jen wants to talk about, bookbinders. I don't know. I'm just making this shit up as I go right now. But
Hey,
Yeah.
you just
here we
winging
go.
it.
Let's talk about it. She's got
Exactly.
some bookbinders. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, it's
I
great
don't
news to hear
understand.
that. It's great news
I
to
don't.
hear that the Cauldron and PT2 are
Yeah.
still hanging on, and we're still going to be rocking and rolling. Yeah, that's good stuff.
And I don't think anybody got to appreciate the many hours that Tim, when we had those technical difficulties,
my
and we were off the
gosh.
air for a month or almost 2 months, to be totally honest. The amount of work that Tim did behind the scenes, and he would call us and text us every day and be like, "I still can't get this goddamn thing to work." I've tried.
I had to redo the whole studio.
And then be that little red button on the left-hand side he just needed to push, and that would make it all work.
And
Exactly.
laugh at it. One time he had, I didn't realize my laptop had a mic button.
Exactly.
That was the whole 3 days of why we weren't on the air, because we didn't know we had a mic button. But and then
Well,
when
now one of the
host-
dogs was doing agility in here.
yes, and I'm pretty sure it was Miss Farah, because
I think it
Miss
was.
Farah likes to do agility training
Yes, he does.
in the PT2 rooms, and just like bounce off everywhere, and just she must have hit something with her paw, and that was it.
Yeah.
But the whole 2 months that we were gone, the amount of hours that he spent on every piece of equipment. He even had his wife on the other end who was holding cords out, going, "It's not this one."
Like the old rabbit ears. Turn it to the left a little
rabbit
bit more.
ears.
Yeah,
And
you
we
remember
were
that one,
joking
huh?
about it. Look, you
Yeah.
gotta put the wife out on the roof. Make sure that she has her left hand out and her right foot pointed north.
Yeah.
On the ceiling.
Oh, I know. I got 2 big computer screens in here. I got monitors. I've got cameras. I've got microphones. I got mixing boards. I mean, I got crap all over the place.
Right.
And and I tell you, it can get hairy sometimes.
It really can. And Jim and I are texting each other, going, "I don't think we're gonna have a show tonight, because I don't think it's gonna happen." It's like T-minus 10 seconds going on, and just whatever. Jeff Brown says Tim is the real deal.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate that.
And I had, like I said, I had every.
I think you're pretty damn cool myself.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Do you hear that, Jeff? You're top notch there, dude. I had every intention of writing this sob story and telling everybody, that I enjoyed what a wild ride it's been for the 4 years that we've been on, and 6 years that we were on Paranormal Talk 2, or 8 years that I was on Paranormal Talk 2, and I'm so glad to hear, because those 2 months that we weren't on air, I literally felt like I was missing something, like I had to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And this is proof positive that family sticks together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Family is not blood.
Absolutely. And and that was the thing. We might have got shut down a few times with technical difficulties, and we might have got shut down a few times by their doing. And as most of there was a few topics there that got pretty hot, and and then they the 2 key words, and bam, we got blown off. Believe it or not, they pick up on all of that stuff, but
well,
it is what it is.
It was probably of this show here because you know how many times I like to press that button and my finger on the button. Dee, dee,
Yeah.
dee.
Yeah.
Let's poke the bear with the stick. Hurry up.
Well, I wouldn't say it was just this show, but you know, we've had our moments with
We did.
yeah.
We came pretty close to getting flagged. We got a couple flags every now and again.
Hey,
Yeah.
you don't learn nothing. You don't learn anything unless you get burnt.
Exactly.
It's a little story. It's a little scorch.
Yeah, and what's that old saying is that no one that is silent ever made history.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. But
I'm so
you know,
glad that we're back on and we're staying on. I couldn't contain myself.
yeah,
And-
we're staying.
Nice.
Woohoo. That way, well, I'm so happy that we're staying on the air.
Okay,
I'm
so
awfully stretched.
So what about Thursday? We got show coming up Thursday?
We will have a show
you-
coming up Thursday. What Jen and I going to talk about? Hell, we don't know. That's what we call witches winging it. We sit in our little witchy room drinking our tea with our hold my beer shirts, according to Jen. And just hang out and shoot the shit and talk about whatever's. On this coming Thursday show, which is not this week but next week, because we're still doing every other, I will have to introduce the world to my new little baby.
Oh yes.
I am adopting from Save the Stray Schuylkill, and she is a beautiful little tortoise-shell little girl named Turtle.
Okay.
So everybody, I cannot help it if Turtle decides that she wants to do this across the,
Like they do.
yeah, like they do.
Well, that's fine.
Yes.
Little Turtle would be part of the family like a rest of them.
Mom? Huh? What are
Yeah.
you doing?
Look, Jim, you need to trim your nose hairs, bud. Bro, what are you doing?
Nah, you fine.
That's
bro.
not right.
Don't worry about them.
Ah!
We're getting in there, see?
Oh, you got that in
yeah.
there nicely.
Yes. So everybody will probably feel the wrath of Turtle when she's here. But I'm so glad to have these shows back on and understanding that we stick together like family and knowing that we are strong when we have numbers. I mean, and no one's going to screw with my family either. I've said that multiple times. I said that on the YouTube page that I have, is that you're not going to screw with my family. You don't screw with my kids, and you don't screw with my tribe. You do that, and this nice little face gets very evil real quick. And I will be the first one standing out in the corner with the arms out for the silver bracelets, okay? And the karma bus, beep beep,
Yeah.
vroom vroom, up.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's what I'm standing there for. I'll wait.
All right.
All right.
I just wanted to sign on and throw my face out there.
Awesome.
I'm so glad you threw your face out there. We need to see your face more often, sir.
I don't know about that. It's not
we
a face.
take care of each other, according to Jeff Brown. Yes, we do, sir. You know what? If we gotta have our mugs out here, you gotta have your mug out here.
Well, I'll make an appearance from time to time.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Look
All
at this.
right.
Look
Promise
at
you
his
that.
aviators on.
Hey, look to your right, Buffy. It's Merlin.
Oh no!
Why do I feel like I'm ready to break into a song of the Brady Bunch?
Yeah, I know, right?
Listen,
Yeah.
here's a story.
When do we get one more on there and you will be the
Buffy,
Brady
yeah.
Bunch? Yeah. We're going to have up to like, I think 10 on this thing. So, hell yeah, that screen would be like a Brady Bunch screen.
Look,
wouldn't
it looked like the introduction to the Muppet Show.
Yeah,
with
you're
all
not
the
kidding.
little
Only damn
boxes.
thing we're missing is the two old codgers up there.
Me and Tim could be the two old codgers up top.
Exactly.
Look, we can put my mom on this show. We can put Mama Dukes on here. She can be an old codger.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We'll put her up
I
there.
wouldn't call
you
her
know.
that though.
She
Yeah.
knows I love her. She knows
Yeah.
I love her. Yeah, what can I say? All right.
All right. Okay.
All righty.
All right.
Here's the
Appreciate
story.
you
Oh,
guys.
God, they're already doing the Brady Bunch. Here's the story of a lovely lady. You know, look, they're already starting on Facebook.
I love the family catches on so quick.
I know.
All right.
It's
I'm
hilarious.
gone.
See you,
All
Tim.
right.
Thanks, buddy.
Good night, everybody.
Jim, real quick. Good night. I know you have an email address real quick you like to hand out to everybody. I know my hands are going a mile a minute. What?
So I am Spirit Searcher 649, Spirit Searcher 649 at gmail.com. We've always said, come on the show, be on the show. We're here. We're live. It's your topic. Whatever you want to talk about. Come on. You can even come on here and correct us for an hour. I don't care. We'll all learn about it. And if you don't like the way I talked about the shadow work, come on in here and tell me something. Help me out. I want to learn it all. We can only research so much and learn so much. And you guys are, I'm amazed at the amount of intelligence and knowledge in the chat. You know,
Yes.
It's amazing. And I thank you guys all for spending an hour with us and listening and talking and chiming in and asking us questions. And, but, if you got a topic that you want us to do, tell us. We'll do it. So I am Spirit Searcher 649 at gmail.com. And Buff, over to you.
We'll do it. Ghost Whisper. Yeah, same thing that bro said goes for me. You know what? Bet. You want to argue with me? Bet. But come on the show. We will talk about things and hash things out. As far as shadow work, whatever you want to talk about. If you've got a topic, tell us. If you want to be a guest on the show, come on. Like Tim said, we got capabilities putting like 10 people. We'll put you on here like one of the Muppets in your little box, like Jim and I. I mean,
pick you up from right here
and put you
over here.
Over here. That doesn't work with just one arm, But he's trying to be intimidating. Okay, yeah, you're all that a bag of chips there, bro. Appreciate it, Kick a girl when she's down, man. Kick a girl when she's down.
Tater chips, let her rip.
What can I say? But we'll put you on the show. And we'll hash it out. We'll talk about it. As far as we know, like Tim said, we are not moving. We are still staying on the air, which is great news. And I love you all. I really do. I was all getting misty-eyed and shit and crying, getting ready to cry. And was crying a little bit, trying to hold it back. Hold it back. That's us Pisces. We love water. We love waterworks. Anything else you want to add to that, bro? Oh, Ghost Whisperer 318 at gmail.com. Ghost Whisperer 318 at gmail.com. I know. That's the worst part is I can see you now doing that.
Oh my goodness, what's gonna happen now?
It's like we're in the back of the car on an investigation again. Oh my god. Anything else?
Oh no.
No. Oh. Okie dokie, like we always say. Oh god, here he goes with the Donald Duck.
He showed up.
All right, we love you all. I made him stop. Love you, chicken grease, y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.